They said he was done. They said the Samoan werewolf had been neutralized, caged, and put on ice by the beast incarnate himself. But on November 2, 2025, everything we thought we knew about power, dominance, and pure unfiltered violence in professional wrestling got rewritten in blood, sweat, and absolute carnage. What happened when Jacob Fatu made his earth-shattering return wasn't just an attack, it was a declaration of war that left Brock Lesnar broken, the WWE Universe in complete shock, and the entire landscape of professional wrestling turned completely upside down. If you think you've seen brutal before, think again, because what transpired on that fateful night will haunt Brock Lesnar's nightmares for years to come, and if you click away now, you'll miss the most insane breakdown of the most explosive return in modern wrestling history. Let's get into this absolute madness. The tension in the arena was already at a fever pitch. Brock Lesnar stood in the center of the ring like he always does, chest puffed out, that cocky smirk plastered across his face, looking like an immovable mountain of destruction. Paul Heyman was doing what Paul Heyman does best, running his mouth, telling the entire world that his client, the reigning, defending, undisputed beast incarnate, had cleared out every single threat in his path. The bloodline? Dismantled. The challengers? Destroyed. The competition? Non-existent. Heyman was practically daring anyone, absolutely anyone, to step up and face the most dominant force WWE has ever seen. The crowd was eating it up, some cheering, some booing, but everyone was captivated by the sheer presence of Brock Lesnar standing there like a conqueror surveying his conquered kingdom. But then it happened. The lights flickered. Not just a subtle dimming, but a violent, aggressive flickering that immediately sent chills down everyone's spine. The arena went pitch black for what felt like an eternity but was probably only 3 seconds. And then, that sound. Oh, that sound. The thunderous, earth-shaking war drums that can only mean one thing. Jacob Fatu's entrance music hit the speakers like a freight train crashing through a concrete wall. The WWE Universe absolutely erupted, a mixture of shock, excitement, and genuine fear rippling through the crowd like an electric current. People were on their feet, phones were out, and everyone's jaw was on the floor because this wasn't supposed to happen. Jacob Fatu wasn't supposed to be there. He'd been written off television, taken out by Brock Lesnar himself in one of the most brutal beatdowns we'd seen in months. But there he was, emerging from the darkness like a demon crawling out of hell itself. The Samoan werewolf looked different though. This wasn't the Jacob Fatu we'd seen before. His eyes told a story of pure rage, unfiltered violence, and a thirst for vengeance that couldn't be quenched by anything less than complete and total destruction. He wasn't walking to the ring, he was stalking, prowling like a predator who'd finally found his prey after months of hunting. Every step was deliberate, every movement calculated, and you could see it in his face. This wasn't about a wrestling match. This wasn't about championships or glory. This was personal. This was about making Brock Lesnar pay for every single second of humiliation, every ounce of pain, every moment of disrespect. Brock's expression changed immediately. That cocky smirk vanished, replaced by something we rarely see on the beast incarnate's face: genuine concern. Not fear, because Brock Lesnar doesn't do fear, but concern. He knew what was coming. Paul Heyman was frantically waving his hands, trying to talk sense, trying to negotiate, trying to do anything to prevent what everyone in that arena knew was about to happen. But Jacob Fatu wasn't hearing it. He wasn't listening to a single word. He slid into the ring with the speed and aggression of a tsunami hitting the shore, and before Brock could even process what was happening, before he could set his feet and prepare for combat, Jacob Fatu unleashed absolute hell. The first superkick connected with Brock's jaw with such devastating force that the sound echoed through the entire arena like a gunshot. Brock stumbled backward, clearly dazed, and that was all the opening Jacob needed. He followed up with a running hip attack that sent the beast incarnate crashing into the corner turnbuckle like a rag doll. The WWE Universe was going absolutely berserk, the noise level was deafening, and this was just the beginning. Jacob Fatu wasn't done, he was just getting started. He grabbed Brock by the head and started delivering brutal forearm shots, each one landing with sickening precision, each one backed by months of pent-up rage and fury. Brock tried to fight back, tried to muscle his way out of the corner, but Jacob was relentless. For every punch Brock threw, Jacob threw 3. For every attempt at a counter, Jacob had an answer. And then came the moment that will be replayed in highlight reels for decades. Jacob Fatu backed up to the opposite corner, the crowd sensing something massive was about to happen. He charged across the ring with the speed and power of a runaway locomotive and absolutely crushed Brock Lesnar with a running hip attack that had so much force behind it that it legitimately looked like Brock's internal organs shifted position. The beast incarnate collapsed to the mat, clearly hurt, clearly in pain, and for the first time in what feels like forever, Brock Lesnar looked vulnerable. He looked human. He looked beatable. But Jacob Fatu still wasn't finished. Oh no, this was just the appetizer. He dragged Brock's lifeless body to the center of the ring, and you could see it in his eyes. He was going to make a statement that would echo through the entire wrestling world. He climbed to the top rope, and the entire arena held its collective breath. Everyone knew what was coming. The moonsault. Jacob Fatu's signature moonsault, but this wasn't going to be a normal moonsault. This was going to be a message written in violence and delivered with extreme prejudice. He launched himself off the top rope with picture-perfect form, rotating through the air with an athleticism that shouldn't be possible for a man his size, and came crashing down onto Brock Lesnar's chest with the force of a meteor strike. The impact was so devastating that medical personnel immediately started making their way to ringside. Referees flooded the ring, trying to check on Brock, trying to restore some semblance of order, but Jacob Fatu just stood there, standing over the broken body of the beast incarnate, arms raised, soaking in the chaos he'd created. The cameras caught every angle, every detail of Brock Lesnar's pain-contorted face as he clutched his ribs, gasping for air. This was the same Brock Lesnar who'd conquered the Undertaker's streak, who'd destroyed John Cena, who'd manhandled Roman Reigns, now lying in the center of the ring looking like he'd been hit by a truck. The commentary team was absolutely losing their minds, screaming about how Jacob Fatu had just changed everything, how the entire power structure of WWE had just been demolished in a matter of minutes. Paul Heyman looked like he'd seen a ghost, his face completely drained of color as he watched his unstoppable client reduced to a gasping, injured heap. But here's where it gets even more insane, where the story takes a turn that nobody saw coming. As Jacob Fatu was celebrating his destruction of Brock Lesnar, as the chaos was reaching its peak, the Titantron flickered to life. And there, standing in what appeared to be a dark, undisclosed location, were the other members of the bloodline. Roman Reigns, Solo Sikoa, and the rest of the family were watching, nodding in approval, smiling with satisfaction. This wasn't a rogue attack. This wasn't Jacob Fatu going into business for himself. This was orchestrated. This was planned. This was the bloodline sending a message to anyone who thought they could stand against the family. Jacob Fatu's return wasn't just about personal revenge, it was about re-establishing the bloodline's dominance, about reminding everyone that you don't mess with the family without severe consequences. The implications of this are absolutely staggering. Think about what this means for the immediate future of WWE. Brock Lesnar, the most dominant force in sports entertainment, just got absolutely dismantled by Jacob Fatu. The beast incarnate, the man who's been unstoppable for years, now has a massive target on his back and a legitimate threat to his supremacy. And it's not just Brock who should be worried. Every single superstar on the roster just watched what happened. They all just witnessed Jacob Fatu return with a level of aggression and violence that frankly looked superhuman. The message is clear: the bloodline is back, they're unified, and they're more dangerous than ever before. The wrestling world is already exploding with reactions. Social media went absolutely nuclear the moment this happened. Twitter crashed temporarily because of the sheer volume of people trying to talk about what they'd just witnessed. Wrestling journalists are calling this one of the most shocking returns in WWE history. Fans are already fantasy booking dream matches and potential storylines that could come from this. Will Brock Lesnar seek immediate revenge? Will this spark a full-scale war between Brock Lesnar and the Bloodline? Will other superstars see this as an opportunity to finally take down the beast while he's vulnerable? The questions are endless, and that's what makes this so incredible. And look, if you're still with me right now, if you've watched this far and you're feeling that rush of excitement, that anticipation for what's coming next in this insane storyline, do me a solid, hit that subscribe button. I know everyone asks for it, I know it gets repetitive, but here's the thing: we're a community here on Ring Rumble. We're all fans who live and breathe this industry, who get genuinely excited when something massive like this happens, who want to break it all down and discuss every detail. By subscribing, you're not just helping the channel, you're joining a family of wrestling fanatics who want to experience these moments together. Plus, you won't miss a single update on this developing story, and trust me, there's so much more coming. The medical update on Brock Lesnar is still pending as of this recording, but sources backstage are reporting that he's legitimately banged up from that assault. Whether this is storyline or legitimate injury is still unclear, but what is clear is that Jacob Fatu didn't hold back. Every move, every strike, every moment of that attack was delivered with full intensity. This is the kind of storytelling that makes professional wrestling the most captivating form of entertainment on the planet. The blend of athleticism, drama, emotion, and unpredictability creates moments like this that you simply can't get anywhere else. The Samoan werewolf has returned, and he's returned with a vengeance that's going to reshape the entire WWE landscape. Brock Lesnar's reign of terror might have just met its match. The Bloodline's resurgence is in full effect, and we, the WWE Universe, are here for every single second of this absolute chaos. November 2nd, 2025 will go down as the night Jacob Fatu reminded everyone why he's one of the most dangerous men in professional wrestling, why you should never count out the Bloodline, and why Brock Lesnar should be looking over his shoulder everywhere he goes from this moment forward. Drop your predictions in the comments below. Where does this story go next? Can Brock Lesnar recover from this? Is anyone safe from the Bloodline's wrath? Let's discuss this insanity together.